Welcome back, guys, to another installment of Video Game Pickups. So I've got a whole lot of new games here, and I'm just going to get right into it. So I would like to give a huge shout out to my friend Jeremiah for hooking me up with this here PSP. He gave me a PSP and lots of games for it, too. So first off, I'm going to show off the PSP console right over here, and I'm trying to keep it from being overexposed by the light. Oh yeah, this is also the God of War Ghost of Sparta PSP. Like, you have Kratos' face on here. He's looking like real. Kratos is looking really angry. But yeah, oh man, I've been addicted to this thing. Like, as a matter of fact, I have not. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. This thing right here, this 3DS is like cold to the touch right now. Like this 3DS, for God's sake, is cold to the touch. Matter of fact, the last game I played in here was when I'm injecting the cartridge, was Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. But God, man, I've been so addicted to all these games. So, anyways, I'm going to showcase the games I got for this PSP. Again, shout out to you, Jeremiah. Oh man. So if I could just get the zipper open. Alright, where do I start? Well, actually, I'm going to start off here. This game I've owned for like 10 years now, since 2007. Tekken Dark Resurrection. Now, I got this back in 2007 when my dad, I don't know, like, for some random reason, he's like, he's like, LJ, you want to, not LJ, they used to call me that when I was younger. He's like, James, you want to go to the game store? I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I didn't have many PSP games on here. The only thing I had at the time, actually, the only few games I had was SOCOM, Fireteam Seals. I forgot which version of that. I mean, not Fireteam Seals, Fireteam Bravo. Oh my God. SOCOM, Fireteam Bravo, and Need for Speed Most Wanted. Those were two of my most played games at the time. And then I got a few more and more games as the years went by until my PSP broke in like 2008. If you're wondering how it broke, it's because, well, what happened was that I was sleeping, and you know how sometimes you stretch in your sleep for God knows why? Well, that's what happened, and it was sitting on like a little stand, and it fell on one of my toys. Like, it made a real loud thud. I couldn't, and it woke me up too. Oh man, and I didn't find out until the next morning because I thought my PSP had survived the fall, but it was far too late. So yeah. So anyways, Tekken Dark Resurrection, absolutely one of my favorite fighting games ever. It's a port, I believe it's a port of Tekken 5, except it has like it has two new characters, Sergei Dragunov and Willy. And let me tell you, Sergei Dragunov has been like one of my most played characters in Tekken 5 and Tekken 6. Okay. So, this game here, oh my God, I'm messing up. Anyways, if I could read it, Dissidia 12 Final Fantasy. Oh my God, the overexposure. Dissidia 12 Final Fantasy. Now this is a fighting game with like all the protagonists of the Final Fantasy games. Like, you got Titus from Final Fantasy X, Lightning from oh God, we don't talk about Final Fantasy 13. It's an okay game. It's an okay game. It's just oh man. I could talk about that in another video. Lightning from Final Fantasy 13. Who else was in there? Cecil from Final Fantasy 4, one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. As a matter of fact, my favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy X, which I have up here, the Final Fantasy X Next 2 remake. Who else was in there? I'm trying to remember the protagonist names. But yeah, it has, anyways, it has all the characters from protagonists of Final Fantasy in there. So it's a third-person fighting game with, where you get to use their abilities. It's also in the style of some of I don't know. I really can't describe the fighting system that well because it does have a menu like somewhere on the screen, and you like input. Well, you don't input commands and like wait for something to happen. Everything is like everything is happening live, like as if it were an action RPG. So it's a pretty good fighting game. Now next is a game I haven't touched yet, but it was in the PSP when Jeremiah handed it to me. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I can't say anything about it, but I haven't played Kingdom Hearts in quite a few years now that now that I think about it. So onto this next side is another game I haven't touched but I'm probably going to play maybe tonight before I go to sleep. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. Now, I've already talked about how I played Final Fantasy Tactics back when I was in preschool. I played it on the Game Boy Advance, if you guys are wondering. So I'm really not going to go much into that. Next we have, and I believe it's a tactical RPG. Oh god, the disc is sliding out too. Thankfully, with these discs, like you can just like take them out and then like put them into another UMD. That's pretty awesome. And this thing's falling apart, so I just kept it in here. Anyways, the game I'm holding is Tactics Ogre. I believe it's a tactical RPG. Um, it's gotten kind of popular, like God knows when. I've heard the name Tactic Ogre. I mean Tactics Ogre before. Oh, look at me. I'm just gonna put it over here. Now let's move on to this other side. Now the Dissidia Final Fantasy. Really don't have much to say about this. Like I said, it's the first installment in the Dissidia series, where in the Dissidia, I can't speak today, in the Dissidia Final Fantasy series. Next up is a game I've been playing since day one when I got this PSP. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. I believe Crisis Core is a prequel to the events of Final Fantasy VII, if I'm not mistaken, because you're playing as a guy named Zack, and he's part of the Soldier program, which is a program that an organization that Cloud was in after the events of Crisis Core. Really not going to get in depth to it. Oh yeah, so I also found this by chance too, by the way. In the little bag that Jeremiah gave me, there just so happened to be a UMD movie, and it like just made me feel all nostalgic inside because I had a few UMD movies on me. Anyways, without further ado, it's Superbad, which I probably won't even end up watching. Yeah. Matter of fact, this UMD is good for like when I like Tactics Ogre, how it like just fell out earlier. This UMD might be good for just putting in like another like little disc in there. So yeah. Final game in this little pouch before I move, or I think that's it. Oh no, one more. God of War Ghost of Sparta. It's out of its little thing right now because it's damaged, and I should probably not be holding it like this, so I'm just gonna hold it like this. But God of War Ghost of Sparta, I played this briefly on my stepbrother's PSP back in like 2012, and it was only the reason why I was only briefly was because he was going to the rec center, and I really was not interested in like moving around, so he like gave me his PSP, and yeah. All right, guys. So let's move on to some other games. So one more time, shout out to you, Jeremiah. Thanks for hooking me up with this PSP. All right, let's get into some other games. Now, first, I actually had to re-buy this game. I bought it. I got this game for Christmas from my dad's girlfriend. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. If you're wondering what happened, it's because, oh my God, it's pretty crazy. For God knows how or why, the cartridge got lost. Right now, this is a pretty crazy. I cannot speak today. This is a pretty crazy story. Now, the cartridge got lost, supposedly. Now, when I went to buy this at GameStop, I am not kidding when I say this. My save file was on the cartridge itself. And before you guys go and say, James, it was on the SD card slot. No, it was not my files on the SD card slot. It was on the cartridge itself. And the guy put quite a few hours into the game. So, I don't know if someone stole it. I don't know if I dropped it somewhere in school and someone just traded it back into GameStop. Lord knows what happened, but still, I'm glad to have this back again. Next is a tactical RPG that I went and got in February of 2016 last year, and I traded it back into GameStop because I didn't like it too much. Project Cross Zone. Now I went and got this during my trip to Maryland at my dad's house. This game is pretty fun. It's just that I didn't give it a chance back in 2016 when I first got it. And the newest release, Project Cross Zone 2, from what I've read, actually no, from the back of the box, Chrom and Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening is in that game, and I got excited for it too. So, oh man, it's a pretty awesome tactical RPG, and I thought it was a tactical RPG mixed in with a fighting game from all the gameplay footage I'd been seeing of it. But you do put in like small little combos and stuff like like left A, right A, or just A, and the character, and you have all these Capcom, Namco. I mean, I think no, Bandai Namco characters, Capcom, Sega, all these characters. Like, oh man, there are just so many to list off. It's like the super. It's like you take. It's kind of like if Super Smash Bros. Were to ever have a tactical RPG, because you know how Super Smash Bros. Is a crossover series. Imagine that in tactical RPG form. Here's a game I didn't get to play much. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it, but I'm holding on to it for now in case I get the initial interest to play it. Codename Steam. I picked this up new for $5 at GameStop because the game, it didn't sell pretty well, and GameStop, they decided, for one reason or another, they decided to lower the price of Codename Steam. Now, I didn't get too far into the game, like maybe a few minutes into it, but from what I've played, it kind of plays like the Valkyria games. If you don't know, the Valkyria games are tactical RPGs, except instead of having like an overhead grid, you move your characters in third person, like it's a third person shooter, and you also take your actions in third person, like shooting, attacking, stuff like that. So I was pretty interested to see what the game could do with this, but for some reason I couldn't bring myself to play more and more of the game. Oh boy. I wanted to save this for last, but I just couldn't wait. Oh boy, if you've seen my last video, you already know what it's about. Persona 5. I went and got the Steelbook edition of this game on release day, like on April 4th, on the American release day. Now, I do have some friends on PlayStation Network who got the game early off of eBay, Amazon, for one reason or another, or God knows how they got it. Still, I'm happy to have this. I would have gotten the Take Your Heart edition, but it was sold out at every GameStop I tried calling. Like, I would have gotten a new school bag, dude. Like, God, man. Because the school bag I have is like, oh, man, that thing is, like, dying out. Still, Persona 5. Here, let me show you. Here, let me show you what the Steelbook case looks like. So, first we got, hopefully my camera's not making it shine like crazy, but yeah, we've got the entire cast. Got Morgana on the front, the protagonist there. Now we have the inside, which is this. Now, this is amazing, man. This game is awesome. The RPG, oh man, all I have to say is this. I'm also not going to talk too much about the plot or to say anything about it at all, but all I have to say is this. If you want to get into the Persona games or you want to get into the Shin Megami Tensei series, I recommend starting off with either Persona 4 or Persona 5. Persona 3, if you want to start off with Persona 3, it's recommended you play Persona 3 Portable, mainly because it has some improvements seen from Persona 4. Oh yeah, and if you have a Vita, make sure to go and get Persona 4 Golden, because it's a remake of Persona 4. Just like how Persona 3 Portable is a remake. Okay. Next, we have Darksiders. Oh, sorry about that. Thought I saw something. Next, we have Darksiders 2. Actually, I made a mistake again. Now, I didn't quite grasp the story. Like, I didn't understand it, but from my understanding, you play as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which is death. That's all I got out of it. But another thing I got out of this game is, oh my God, the action, dude. Goodness, man, the fighting mechanics. Like, it's a freaking hack and slash mixed with an action RPG. Dude, it's like you take God of War and then just like make it more. I don't know, man. Just make it more action RPG-ish, something. Sorry about that. Whoops. Yeah. Make it more action RPG-ish. I don't know. You be the judge of that. But still, man. Oh, this game is awesome. Like, it's a freaking hack and slash, for God's sake. And oh man. Now lately I've been getting into the Disgaea series. I've been getting more and more into. Oh God. I messed up again. Hold on. Is it still here? Oh, man. Oh, it's in the 3DS. I mean, not 3DS. It's in the PSP. Alright, so another game I got for the PSP. See, look, guys, I'm messing up. So another game I got for the PSP is Disgaea Afternoon of Darkness. Now, this game was probably the most played next to Crisis Core because let me tell you, I love tactical RPGs. I just love how addicting they are. I just love the amount of planning that goes into a tactical RPG. Like, God, oh man, sorry about that. Anyways, I got one more PlayStation 3 game. I mean, PlayStation 3 Disgaea game. Disgaea D2: A Brighter Darkness. Now, I believe this game is about a war between angels and demons, and you play as the son of an overlord. Um, and let me tell you, he's kind of a jerk, to say the least. Well, to some of the people he meets, like especially that little girl in the beginning of the game, kind of a jerk. But that's what's so hilarious about the cast of Disgaea. They're so oh my goodness they're just so wacky, crazy, like just out of control. That's why I love these characters and the other games, man. All right, so I should have put this next to Darksiders 2. Darksiders 1. Now, from my understanding, is you play as some dude in some like some oversized set of armor. He looks like he came straight out of World of Warcraft, for God's sake, man. Anyways, you play some dude in some oversized set of armor, and I forgot his name. But the game starts off in a New York City. Then all these meteors start crashing down and I think there were some volcanoes that were being mentioned. And then like the apocalypse is occurring, and you're just going around killing demons from the depths of hell. I mean, from the depths of hell. And I think there are some angels in there. It's kind of crazy, man. Just okay. Next is Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Now, I played this demo of this game back in 2010, and I was looking through my download list on my old PlayStation Network account, and I saw the demo of this just recently. Recently I was looking through that download list, and I found the demo of Ninja Gaiden Sigma, and I just learned that my GameStop there has it for like $7. So I ran over there and picked up the game. This game, oh my goodness, man. This game is hard, okay? This game is hard. It's like God, man, it's hard. Because the Ninja Gaiden franchise is known for being difficult. But whenever you complete a stage, it just feels so rewarding. And you learn through your obstacles, getting slashed. Actually, that's the best part of the game, just slashing up enemies and stuff with that katana. And in the demo, I think you also had like nunchucks, if I'm not mistaken, in this oversized weapon. I forget the name of it, but you had a katana, that oversized weapon, and some nunchucks. And if I'm not mistaken, you could dual wield these other katanas. It's an excellent hack and slash, and I also just recently learned that Ninja Gaiden Sigma has a sequel, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and I'm going to go and pick that up one day. We're down to our last two games. Alright, you ready? You ready for this? Here goes. Shin Megami Tensei, Persona 3 FE. Oh my God, Persona 3 FES. And if the overexposure today's not my day, dude. So yeah, Persona 3 FES is an improved version of Persona 3. It has a few new personas, and it also has a new 30-hour story arc called I forgot the name of it. I'm trying to look at it now. And oh yeah, it's called The Answer. And I think Aigis makes her appearance in this, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe she makes an appearance in Vanilla Persona 3. I don't know, but because I have oh man. Still, this is an awesome game. Now the story is that what if I told you that there were 25 hours in a day? So during the 25th hour, which is like after 12 o'clock midnight, there's this event that takes place called Dark Hour. Now, during Dark Hour, it's kind of a bit hard to explain. But what happens is that normal civilians, they're trapped in coffins, and anyone that has I really don't know what the conditions have to be met for this to happen, but anyone that is seen outside, that is outside of their coffins will get attacked by a shadow immediately on the spot. And I think that if you're strong enough, you may be able to get a persona through, I don't know. I don't know, man. But God, man, this is awesome. I also downloaded the PSP version of Persona 3 Portable on... Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm clumsy today, guys. I'm clumsy. I'm sorry about that. I'm really clumsy today. Anyways, I also downloaded the ISO of Persona 3 Portable onto this thing because really I know what you guys are thinking, James. Why would you do that? I'm sorry, man. Those eBay prices, I'm telling you. Well, $30 ain't that bad, but still, man. If it's right in front of me, I might as well. If it's right in front of me, I might as well download it. So I went and downloaded it to my console. It is all both versions are awesome. Like I said, if you want to get into Persona 3, it's recommended you play the portable version of the game because it has all the improvisations from Persona 4, such as being able to control your own party members during the course of battle, because in Persona 3 on the PlayStation 2, you couldn't do that. Your party members themselves got to decide what happened. I mean, got to decide what they did. And to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, oops, I turned on the PSP. But it's not that big of a deal if you think about it. The only time they'll ever do something so desperately insanely stupid is if they're charmed. My God, everyone hates it. And whenever, like in any turn-based RPG, when they get charmed, whether it be Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Persona, any of the Megami Tensei games, God, man, if you get charmed, then oh my God, your own party member will betray you worse than Finn. That's God, man. I remember seeing one dude, and what happened was that I guess got charmed, and I just went and healed the final boss of Persona 3. Oh my God, man, I just couldn't. We're down to our last game, and it's pretty awesome. Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga, or in Japan it's known as Shin Megami Tensei Avatar Tuner. This version of the game I got, it also came with a disc too, which I can get out. It came with a disc with the full soundtrack on it, and the story is really, really awesome too. Now the game is about these tribes. They're fighting for control. They're fighting to gain dominance over each other. And what happens is that if one tribe has like the advantage, then they get to move up in a place called Nirvana, which is a place of great brilliance and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of how everyone's trying to go after the vault in Borderlands. So, anyways, during two of the tribe's usual standoffs and fights, some weird light appears and it pierces the chest of everyone in the area. And everyone that got pierced in the chest by that weird light has been turned into demons. Now, the thing is that you and your party members, you have some kind of disease. I mean, not disease, some virus. And the thing is that the virus will like worsen unless you eat the corpse of your fallen enemy, which is a demon. And that's one thing I like about this. It's really awesome how the game deals with with the theme of cannibalism in a mature fashion, and like how some of the characters they refuse to eat, but they have no choice but to do so. Especially with that girl with the pink hair. I forgot her name. But still, the themes of this game are awesome. I also like the gameplay aspect too. Now, it takes the gameplay of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, where you have to exploit enemy weaknesses in order to gain an advantage in battle, and you also gain an extra turn. And another thing I like is the mantra grid. It reminds me of the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, where you like improve upon abilities or just navigate wherever you want to go in the grid, just to like improve upon an ability, HP, certain stats, stuff like that. It's a really, really good game. I think that about wraps it up for this video. I'd like to apologize for my clumsiness during this video. It's one of my off days, okay, guys? It's one of my off days. So which of these games did you guys like? Did you enjoy all of them? Which games would you recommend for me? Which games would you recommend I get for the PSP? Just let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.